Shut the up, Donnie.
A Quiet Place Part 2. A Quiet Place Part 2 is a John Krasinski film that was just released in theaters and is a sequel to A Quiet Place. I know, shocking. So this movie picks up right after the events of the first A Quiet Place. The father, Lee, played by John Krasinski, died, and now the kids and the mother, played by Emily Blunt, have to move on and try to find more people because it's no longer safe to stay at the house they were at. Along with the main characters from the first one, this movie includes a couple of new characters, one played by Cillian Murphy, who is a fantastic actor who's been in things like Batman Begins, Dunkirk. He's a great actor, you should look up his work and watch him and stuff. He's also good in this one. But all of the actors in this one are good. We all know that Emily Blunt is a top-tier actress, and both of the kids, while I think they did a really good job in the first one, they do just as good of a job, if not a better job in this one, which is a testament to them because it's really hard to find child actors who can do a really good job and be really convincing, and I was sold throughout this whole movie. I really believed them. They gave really emotional performances. Really, really great job. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Does this movie have a case of sequelitis? The first movie was really great, but sometimes you think, where are they going to go with the next one? Horror sequels are usually pretty bad. Can they capture the magic of the first one? And I'm here to tell you, yes, they can.
Yes, yes, yes!
A Quiet Place Part 2 broadens the scope and expands the world of A Quiet Place while still keeping the heart and central focus from the first one intact. The characters are very sympathetic, and you're really rooting for them to succeed in their goals and to ultimately survive in this movie. There's a little more action and more things going on in this movie than in the first one, which is kind of what you expect because it's a sequel, you're trying to do something new, and they do new things.
You said doo-doo.
While also making it feel just like the same vibe as the first movie, which is really hard to do. And the tension and suspense in this movie are unbelievable. They do such a good job. There's moments where I'm just on the edge of my seat just going, oh my god, what's going to happen? They set things up early in the movie that you know are going to come back later, but they're still really suspenseful and tense when they do. I really have no complaints about that. This movie really kept me invested the whole time. There were moments when I felt like the whole theater gasped and went wide-eyed all at the same time. Which is amazing because, of course, I'm going to gasp when something surprises me or catches me off guard, but when you can get a whole audience to do it at the same time, that is really, really fantastic. John Krasinski's filmmaking and camera work is just top-notch. He's a really great director, and I can't wait to see what he moves on to after the Quiet Place franchise, but I will be watching it no matter what it is because he does an amazing job with this movie. In terms of negatives, the only ones I have are kind of nitpicks, and none of them are detrimental to the story, but I feel like I should bring them up anyway. First is an issue that's kind of carried over from the first movie, and that's the movie is kind of inconsistent in what kinds of sounds attract the monsters and what don't. It's hard for the audience to tell what's gonna happen, because there's one point where there are these birds that make a really loud noise and nothing happens, and then someone makes a sound that was less loud than the birds and it attracts a monster. So, I mean, it builds tension because you never know what's going to attract it, but also it's like, I'd really love to know what the threshold is for sound. Whatever. It doesn't factor hugely, but it is something you notice. And second, there's a moment where they do movie physics that aren't like real physics, and what I mean by that is that they do something that Mythbusters actually disproved on their show. Like, you can't do it in real life, but they do it in movies all the time.
That don't make no sense.
And I won't say what it is, but it's something where I saw it, I was like, oh, they're going to do that. Yeah, okay. That couldn't happen in real life, but it sure makes for a fun plot point. And that's really all I have for negatives. I really, really enjoyed watching this movie, and you bet I will be in the theater when A Quiet Place Part 3 inevitably happens. When all said and done, A Quiet Place Part 2 is definitely just as good as the first one, and I loved the first one, so I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10. A Quiet Place Part 2 is anything but a quiet sequel. I really wish we'd get more horror/thriller movies like this, because it's not often you get one where I'm fully invested in the characters, tense the entire time, and just have my eyes glued to the screen. It's amazing, and I really hope that we get more like this in the future. Alright guys, well if you like this review, please like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. It helps the channel out, and check back for more reviews soon. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you next time.